The restaurant waitress was harassed by an oily man. The girl didn't tolerate it either. She grabbed a basin and slammed it on the bar counter and slit the old man's neck. After that she even burst into laughter. However, as a wage earner, this was just her fantasy. But there are always some reckless gangsters who challenge her bottom line. One day at work, a gangster saw the name on her chest and asked her, why did her mother give her a name that was the same as a stripper's? Then the three of them started using foul language in front of the waitress. This also made her very unhappy, but she still showed them to their seats. Then the waitress stood by and listened to their conversation. The three of them claimed to be from an aristocratic organization, and they came to the town to attend a gathering. After chatting for a while, the gangster urged the waitress to serve them some coffee first. When she was serving the coffee, she was thinking about punishing these three gangsters who had made her angry. So when she put the coffee on the table, she deliberately spilled a cup of coffee on the crotch of one of them. Although she was scolded, she felt very satisfied inside. She thought the matter was over. Unexpectedly, the gangster actually came looking for her. This time it wouldn't be a small lesson. The girl's name is Nova. 2 years ago, a group of gangsters broke into her home just to snatch this key. As a result, they killed her parents. Later she fought back and killed that group of people, and she became an orphan. In the following 2 years, she ran away from 3 foster families. Now she lives with an old lady in a house in the suburbs. During the day she works as a waitress in a decent restaurant. When she has time, she will go to the woods to work out and learn some survival skills. At night she plays games with the old lady. She also has a dog, and she named it Wankai. An old person, a young person, and a dog. They lived a happy life. One day when Nova was at work, 3 young gangsters entered the store. That's when the scene at the beginning took place. Unexpectedly, when Nova was off work and on her way home, the 3 gangsters drove and followed her. At night, Nova was examining the key that her father had sacrificed his life for. Suddenly, she heard a noise downstairs. She quickly hid the key under the bed. She walked around the living room but didn't see anyone. Suddenly, the guy with curly hair came out from behind and hugged her. Nova saw Wankai running downstairs. She tilted her head back forcefully to break free. The guy with curly hair tried to make the dog bite her. He didn't expect that he would knock Wankai unconscious with one blow. Then, he took out a gun and pointed it at Nova and made her sit in the corner. The guy with curly hair was very angry at this moment because Nova had broken his nose. At this time, another guy wearing a hat walked in. Seeing that his companion had actually taken out a gun, he asked them, didn't they agree to just scare this woman? But now that the guy with curly hair had been at a disadvantage, he wanted to do something else. Suddenly, a voice came from behind them. It turned out that the old lady came out crouching with a shotgun. She cocked the gun and told Jet to put down his gun. Seeing how tough the old lady was, he had to slowly put down the gun. But suddenly, the guy with curly hair took out a gun from behind and shot and killed the old lady with one shot. Nova saw a loved one die again. She rushed forward in anger but was thrown aside by the guy with curly hair. When she woke up again, it was already the next day. Nova buried the old lady in the woods behind the house. She set 2 things for herself that she had to accomplish. One was to find her dog, the other was to kill those 3 gangsters. So she went back to the warehouse to find some tools, and took a can of bear spray. By the way, she took the key that she had hidden because before, when she was in the restaurant, she heard them chatting. They mentioned a person named Malcolm. She found the lakeside according to the information about this person. Sure enough, she saw the car of the guy with curly hair and the others parked there. She didn't rush to take action. She went back to the woods and formulated a plan. There were 5 people in the wooden house at this time. The 3 guys, including the one with curly hair and Malcolm. And there was also a Garrick. They were having a meal. But because Jet had something on his mind, he didn't have the appetite to eat. Malcolm told him to take off his hat while eating. Then, he heard a sound coming from under the adjacent table. He lifted the curtain and saw a dog. He asked why the dog was locked up there. The guy with curly hair said that because it had just fought with other dogs. It was in an unstable emotional state now. Malcolm thought it was reasonable, so he went back and continued eating. But this scene was seen by Nova, who was hiding outside the door. She quietly went around to the back of the house and got in through the window. There was a mannequin inside. There was a bullseye drawn on its forehead, and the name of a senator was written on it. She also saw some documents on the table. It seemed that a terrorist act was going to be carried out. She quickly took pictures of them with her phone. She hid when she heard someone coming in. Sure enough, Malcolm and Jet entered the study. Malcolm asked him how long he had been in the organization. Jet said a few months, but this was his first time attending a gathering. But they didn't know that Nova was hiding under the sofa. Malcolm told Jet that people must know their slogan and how many people were in their organization. Jet didn't expect there were so many people in their organization. Malcolm also said that he had served in the army. he was an infantryman in the army. Then, he told Jet that to achieve something great one must make sacrifices. Everyone in the team needed to contribute. As long as there was a weak link, the whole team would fail. He hoped that Jet wasn't that weak link. Malcolm asked him what had happened last night, and why he had only arrived today. Jet said that because the car had a flat tire. He had spent the whole night at the restaurant dealing with it. Malcolm thought it was reasonable and let him go out. She crawled out. Seeing the long list on the computer, she thought that she couldn't kill so many people, but she could get rid of some of the scoundrels among them. She decisively took out the USB drive and ran out. She ran to a barn. She was going to find a suitable weapon. When she went to the second floor, she saw a table full of military weapons. This was for a terrorist attack. Nova looked at these weapons and showed a victorious smile. On the other side, several people were still celebrating what was about to happen. Suddenly, they heard the doorbell ring. Garrick thought someone else was coming. Malcolm went to open the door, but didn't see anyone. He heard the ringtone of a mobile phone and then realized that someone had put a mobile phone at the door, but he didn't know who. He took the mobile phone and went back into the house. Several people stared at him. The mobile phone lit up and it was a call from her. He asked the three guys, including the one with curly hair, what had happened exactly. Jet wanted to say something but was stopped by the guy with curly hair. Garrick stepped forward and asked them to explain clearly. Seeing that they couldn't hide it anymore, Jet quickly said that they had stolen Nova's dog. Malcolm answered the phone. Nova told them. After hearing this, they all laughed. A little girl actually dared to threaten them. Malcolm didn't want anything unexpected to happen to their business, so he asked them to return the dog to her. They had no idea that it wasn't just about stealing a dog. The guy with curly hair went outside and called Nova, asking her to show up and have a talk. At this time, Nova was hiding behind a tree. She said that if he wanted to talk, he should follow her. Then the guy with curly hair followed her all the way into the woods. Seeing that she kept stopping, he took out a gun and pointed it at her, saying that she was putting him in a difficult situation now. But Nova wasn't scared. She walked to the side of a forklift. The guy with curly hair saw that she was just a woman. He put away the gun and tried to grab her. He had just taken 2 steps when he fell into a big pit. It turned out that this was a trap prepared by Nova in advance. She picked up the gun and pointed it at the guy with curly hair. Then she took out a grenade from her pocket. She was going to kill him in a fun way. Several people in the house were chatting. They heard someone knocking on the door. Malcolm went out and looked out through the window. He saw that the mouth of the guy with curly hair was taped up and there was a pull ring attached outside. As soon as he opened the door, the head of the guy with curly hair was blown to pieces. Several people ran out and they saw a headless corpse. Garrick asked Malcolm if they should call the police, but Malcolm said that the pile of weapons in the barn was enough to start a riot. If the police came, they would definitely find out. Then, he pointed the gun at Jet and the other person, asking them to tell what they had done exactly. Jet said that the guy with curly hair had killed that old lady, and they too had done nothing. Jet then told what had happened last night. He just thought he was coming to attend a gathering just now, when he heard that Malcolm was going to start a riot. He felt that he had been deceived by the guy with curly hair and the other person and was going to leave. Malcolm put down the gun and walked up to him. He turned his head and saw this scene and was instantly scared out of his wits. He quickly said that he would be loyal to the organization. Just then the phone rang again. Nova was observing them with a telescope on the slope. She already knew their plan to attack the city hall and had also taken photos of their command center. Malcolm threatened to kill her dog. Nova said that if he touched a single hair of her dog, she would send the photos to the police station. After Garrick knew this, he picked up the gun and was about to go out and kill Nova. Malcolm said that she had already provoked him, and he must kill her. Nova said that in that case, he would never know where the USB drive was. As soon as he heard about the USB drive, Malcolm quickly ran into the study only to find that the USB drive on the computer was indeed gone. At this time, Nova saw Garrick walking to the dock. She shot an arrow that pierced through his cheek. Garrick quickly ran back into the house, asking Malcolm to pull the arrow out. Garrick was so angry that he wanted to go out and take revenge. He saw Nova greeting him on the hillside. In a fit of rage, he chased after her. At the same time, Malcolm asked Jet to go out and help catch that girl, but Jet ran out, got in the car and left. Nova ran into the warehouse on the first floor. Garrick had already blocked her inside. Nova threw a smoke bomb at his feet. After running out of bullets, he opened the door with difficulty and crawled out. Nova chased out with a 40-meter machete. No matter how much he begged for mercy, Nova still hacked at him more than 10,000 times. But suddenly a tranquilizer dart was shot into his neck. When he woke up it was already the next day, but suddenly a tranquilizer dart was shot into his neck. When he woke up it was already the next day. Malcolm was sitting opposite him, and he had also found his bag. He found that key. After opening it he saw a coordinate, but he didn't know what it was for, so he put it away for now. At this moment an old woman pulling a gas tank came out of the house. She was Malcolm's mother. It turned out that she was the mastermind behind the planned ride. She asked Nova to hand over the USB drive, otherwise she would let Malcolm do whatever he wanted to him. Nova also knew that only that USB drive could save his life now, so he refused to say anything no matter what. The old woman saw that there was no way to make him talk, so she told her son to kill his dog. Seeing that Malcolm was about to kill the dog, Nova finally agreed to tell where the USB drive was hidden. This made Malcolm put the dog back in the cage, but Nova had already broken free from the rope. He rolled aside and picked up the bear spray. On the table it hurt so much that he quickly ran to the bathroom to rinse his eyes. Nova took the opportunity to untie his other hand. The old woman pointed a gun at him. Nova said that if she hurt him she wouldn't know the whereabouts of the USB drive, but the old woman pointed the gun at the dog again. Nova seized the opportunity and threw a knife. It just happened to stick in the old woman's forehead. He also took the opportunity to run out. Malcolm returned to the living room and saw his mother's body. He picked up the gun and chased out. So the two of them started chasing each other in the woods. He picked up the gun and chased out. So the two of them started chasing each other in the woods. The next second he stepped on an animal trap. Unconvinced, he still wanted to step forward. As a result his other foot was also caught. When he fell down his head was also caught by another animal trap. Nova squatted down and watched him slowly die. She also took her key out of his pocket. She went back to the wooden house and was about to let the dog go. Unexpectedly, although the old woman had a knife stuck in her head, she wasn't dead yet. Nova ordered the dog to attack. The dog rushed up and killed the old woman. One day later at the headquarters of the Central Bureau, Nova handed the USB drive to the federal agent. The agent said that as a young girl she had eliminated a branch of the terrorists, and they wanted to invite her to join the Central Bureau. Nova readily agreed. Later on a road in the wild, the car in front broke down. On the way, a police car stopped nearby. Jack still wanted to resist with a gun. Nova, who had already become an agent of the Central Bureau, came down and was carrying a rocket launcher. She fired a shell and sent Jack to reunite with his organization. This film ends here. See you in the next video. Bye bye.